Now let's go to Iowa State. Here's head coach Matt Campbell. Matt, all yours.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, just really extremely grateful to be here and the opportunity to represent Iowa State University, obviously our athletic department, and certainly our football program. For me, it's an honor to be going into our seventh season here at Iowa State. We've got a really special senior class, 18 seniors here at Iowa State. And really what I would say is this group has been actually a true joy to be able to work with and watch them really lead our football team through the off season. I brought four of our great seniors with us today. The two offensive players is Xavier Hutchison, our outstanding conference receiver from a year ago, 3-year starter now in our football program. And then Trevor Downing. Trevor Downing, again, a first-team all-conference player, a 3-year starter for us as well. Trevor will be shifting from the guard position to the center position for us this fall. And then on the defensive side, we've got Orion Vance. Orion's in his 6th year in our program. Orion has been a 4-year starter at the Mike linebacker position for us, has been just a pillar of success and leadership for our football team. Really proud of what he stands for. And then Anthony Johnson. Anthony will be a 5th-year senior and a 4-year starter, all-conference player for us as well. Anthony playing a little bit of corner and safety for our football program. So, we're really proud of those guys. We talk a lot in our program about momentum. This group has done a great job throughout the offseason, creating great momentum for themselves moving forward, and obviously great challenges and opportunities ahead. So with that said, I'll certainly open up to you guys for questions.
Have some questions, please raise your hand. We'll get you. There's one right back there. Right side. We got 2 people running at it. Oh, we'll go right here in front of us. Right here in front, Coach. There you go.
Coach Jamie Plunkett with Frogs Today. Iowa State has managed to maintain a rivalry with Iowa even though y'all are in different conferences. As we see conference realignment progressing, we're starting to see more of those traditional rivalries disappear. How can schools manage to accept the change that realignment presents while also maintaining those traditional rivalries that fans love?
Man, great question. I wish I had the power to answer that question other than the fact of I would just say, for us in our state, we're really fortunate. There are no pro sports teams. To have 2 what are Power 5 conferences right now, programs playing, and to be able to compete against one another, I think it's really special for our entire state. I know that's meant a lot to the state of Iowa, certainly means a lot to our alumni bases and our university. So for us, we're really grateful that has continued and certainly has the opportunity to continue moving forward.
All right, let's go right down in front here, Coach. Nope, we'll go down to you. Right in front here, 3rd table.
Cole Thompson, FanNation.com. Matt, you're the 2nd longest tenured coach in the Big 12 now. And the biggest thing that Brett said yesterday is that the conference was open for business. When you look at the Big 12 and when you look at the model, when you look at how conference realignment is going and potential expansion, what makes the Big 12 the next conference and the 3rd conference to potentially be in that super conference realignment? Thank you.
Yeah. Again, for myself in general, just being here, I can't even believe that I'm going into my 7th year here at Iowa State, and being in this conference from year 1 to now going to year 7. The one thing that I do think is really special, top to bottom in this conference, is consistency. There's not an easy out on Saturday in the football conference. I think you've seen great coaches, great teams, really consistently play week in and week out. And I think that has made this conference really special. I think it makes every game that gets played in this conference really special. And to be quite honest with you, it's the competition and competitiveness, I think, gives it an opportunity to move itself forward for sure.
All right, Coach, we'll go right side about 3/4 of the way back.
Hey, Coach. Ryan Swankowski, Texas Student Television. You've only missed a bowl game one time in your time at Iowa State. Can you just talk about maybe a key factor to your consistency and just the thriving nature of your team that you've been able to coach?
Oh, yeah. I think for us, we really haven't deviated too far off of what's built Iowa State football from year 1 that we got to Iowa State to where we are today. We said at the beginning that we were going to build our program on trust. I know that's a very simple word. I think it's really hard to have and build. Trust in college football has to roll from player to player, player to coach, coach to coach, and coach back to player. And I think the loyalty and consistency of our players and our coaches to stay the course on that value system has really given us the ability to work through hard times and work through success equally with the same mentality and the same focus of trying to just become the best version of ourselves that we can be.
All right, Coach, it'll be just off the center aisle there, waving your hand. There we go.
Hi, Coach. Nicole Sheeran, KCEN TV in Waco. So there are 3 new coaches in the Big 12 this season. What are your thoughts about having 3 new faces in the conference?
Well, I think you look at the success that all those coaches have had in their past, and I think that, again, it goes back to maybe my comment a little bit earlier, is the consistency that the talent and the ability for anybody to beat anybody any given Saturday. I think it certainly adds to what this conference has got the ability to be, especially this fall. I think a very consistent, a very talented conference from top to bottom.
All right, Coach, right side here, a little bit 3/4 way back.
Hey, Coach. Tyler DeLuca, Gaylord College at OU. The popular trend nowadays is kind of entering into that transfer portal to try and find a new QB when your old one graduates. But you stick with the guy that's been around in Deckers. Kind of take me through that decision and what made you confident in it.
Well, part of our job is to develop. So, that is still part of the coaching model. And, I think one thing that we've believed is recruit, retain, and develop. And, I think for us, we've been, really fortunate that, you look at our last couple quarterbacks. Kyle Kemp was kind of a unheard of football player that kind of came and patiently sat and waited his opportunity. When his opportunity came, he made the most of it. Brock Purdy really kind of took over in the same vein a little bit. He got his opportunity, his moment. He took advantage of it and then really got better with it and really shined for our program. And I think Hunter's in a very similar situation. Hunter did play some really meaningful snaps a year ago. You got to see him go in critical situations, have success. We also got to watch him fail a little bit and work through failure, which is part of playing quarterback. And I think all those things were hugely positive for Hunter. And then, you got to watch him in his work ethic over the last 2 years, being around Brock, supporting Brock, taking the knowledge, and really coming to practice every day and getting better. And so myself, our program, our players have complete faith in our quarterback room, and especially a guy like Hunter because of how he practiced every day. And when he got the moments to get in the game and perform, he was able to perform at a really high rate.
Hey, Coach, right down here, second row right in front of you.
Hey, Coach. Colin Wilson with the Action Network. What makes Iowa State's offense so great is the usage of 12 and 13, so many tight ends, but the depth chart is filled with redshirt freshmen. Is it we're going to continue seeing more 12 and 13, and is there a redshirt freshman that kind of sticks out so far?
Sure. Great question. I think one of the positives for us with the success of so many of those tight ends that we've had over the last couple of years is we've been able to recruit to that model and to that system. And we certainly do have an all-conference tight end coming back in Jared Russ. So that's one building block that's great to have to our advantage. And then guys like Easton Dean, Deshaun Hanukkah are guys that have played a lot of football for us. They even though they weren't the starters, they're guys that have played meaningful reps and really we feel have gotten better and give us an opportunity to have success. A young man named Tyler Moore, another young redshirt freshman in our program that we feel has a chance to be really successful as well. I would also tell you that I think our ability at Iowa State to adapt, we're not, this is just who we are and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with the model of players, formations, plays. Who are your players? What formations do you get into? Really dictate what plays do you run. And I think what we've tried to do is put our best players in position to help us have success and win the football game. So, I am excited about that because I think the receiving core is as deep and as talented as maybe we've had. We really like our running back room, and it's going to be really fun to see through fall camp and the early part of the season is what is the evolution of this year's Iowa State offense? What does that look like? What do we become? But to say we have really good pieces, that part I'm really excited about.
Okay, Coach, about 4 rows back, right to the right side here.
Hey, Jeff Wilson with Frogs today. Based on your tenure, how unusual is it going to be to not see Gary Patterson on the sidelines and not hear him screaming from the other sidelines?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough to go through our Big 12 meetings and not get educated by Coach Patterson. That was tough for a little bit. But, quite honestly, I'm a young guy that's probably a little bit more of a traditionalist. I have so much respect for coaches that stay and build. And one of our jobs as coaches is you would hope is to build a program that inspires and empowers young people, and part of that is the ability to kind of stay there and be a part of their lives. And man, you look at the success Coach Patterson had. You see what he did to lead that TCU program from obviously one conference to another conference, sustain success at a really high rate, have the defenses and the football teams that Coach Patterson had throughout his tenure. It was a great challenge every time you competed. I certainly have the utmost respect, and you'll greatly miss competing against a great competitor like Coach Patterson for sure.
All right, Coach, right down the middle, 4th row.
Skylar Dixon with the AP. Matt, you built the program last year to the point where you had the high preseason ranking. The season didn't go as you would have hoped. You've lost some headline players. How motivated are you to kind of bounce back from that and sort of get it going back the direction you want?
Yeah, I've said this, and from the standpoint of the preseason piece of it, I think I said this a year ago. If we would have ever listened to what people said about Iowa State in the preseason hype, we would have never got our program off the ground. And for us, it's always been really about us. It's been about this term that I talk a lot about our football team is greatness is never overcoming others. The ability to find greatness is the ability to overcome yourself. And we've always kind of just honed in on that model. We've really tried to find out where we need to continue to grow, why we've either taken steps back or taken steps forward, and how do we continue to push forward as a program, both individually and collectively. And so from our end, I don't think we need to be motivated by what did or didn't happen a year ago. I think we're motivated on how do we continue to find success and push our program and push ourselves forward. And I really think that's what we've rallied around since we've been back in January.
Any other questions before we wrap it up? Anybody? All right, that's it. Coach Campbell, I appreciate it. Best of luck this season, my friend.
Thank you.